I think for the coming year, I think the defense will be a strength for us. It will also be a strength for teams like Houston.
Yep.
Um, but at the same time, I do think we have some offensive talent. And to Josh, to your point, we do have Jakuri still back there in backup as well. The
I
big
know.
knock again. Well, no, we do. He's back.
Oh, no,
So,
no, 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 no. I mean, which Jacurri Brown are we getting? That's what
well,
I
I
like.
I
Yeah.
was just getting ready to go there, right? So I think last year one of the things that we heard consistently in the locker room before or during and postseason from different people was that Gus's concept with this was to out talent everyone, and so he would the we found out that the athletic trainer from Kansas State that we brought on that was renowned around the country, had been with K-State for a long time, built really physical football teams, was brought into UCF, but he had his hands tied. So they weren't doing the strength and conditioning that they needed to. They weren't pushing them. Jakuri Brown and several of the other quarterbacks were not putting in the time for the mental reps. You had KJ Jefferson at the helm, who didn't do much of anything except stop by Waffle House at the end of games. So, and Josh can attest to that because he was there. But at the end of the day, I think the difference is, at least for the quarterback room, is all you've heard coming out of the quarterback room has been that Mackenzie Milton has had them in there doing the extra work and the mental reps, learning the offense, making sure that they had what they needed. You have a guy like that who is successful at a high level, and the guys that we have on the roster, yes, they were highly rated recruits, but none of them have really broken through completely. Our transfer from Indiana, uh, he did well at Indiana, was expected to compete for the starting job there at a surprisingly good Indiana team. But I think the difference this year for the QB room, and I think why you guys are a little bit jaded, is those guys weren't doing the mental reps. And I think that's different this year in that QB room. So I feel like Jakuri's always had the talent. He's floated some passes and some things like that. But if you want anybody as a quarterback, whisperer or coach or anybody, it's Mackenzie Milton. That we laughed about Mario Verduzco and his crazy personality, right? Like with his round sunglasses and all
Yeah.
that other stuff. But that guy was a genius when it came to arm angles and making sure that footwork was right on getting stuff on the move. And if you're looking for a fast paced dual threat offense that you're trying to run, you need the mental reps to recognize what the defense is giving you, number one, so that you know whether you need to run or pass. Number two, you need to have the reps as far as what the arm angles need to be, how you need to pass, what does the footwork need to look like on different throws. And you need someone who's going to hold you accountable. And I can tell you this right now, it would be very hard, knowing the reputation that KZ had as a player and at UCF and running this offense. No matter what, if you're playing for an NIL payday or if you're playing, to actually win at the school, at the end of the day, there's nobody that you could learn from that's better than KZ when it comes to understanding what you need to do with the football when you have it in your hands, reading the pre-snap reads, and doing the mental aspect of the game, and then combining that with the physical aspects of the game that you need and to run the type of offense that he runs. So I see a lot of last year. I think Trey mentioned this. We had the most talented team on paper that we've ever had at UCF. Unfortunately, we didn't have the coaching or the culture behind it that would make them successful and enable that talent to play together as a team. I think that's the difference for this year. I think that's why this team has the ability to surprise, just like last year's team surprised us with the losses the L's that they stacked. So from the QB room perspective, and speaking specifically about Jakuri Brown, last year all we heard was his misses were mental, right? That wasn't so much the physical, except for some of his touch on some of his passes. And I think between Scott Frost being a former QB coach or a QB, and then QB coach, then offensive coordinator, and specifically offensive coordinator for his offense at UCF, and combining that with a quarterback that's run it, I think that they are set up for success. And I think you're going to see a different Jakuri than you did last year.